Okay. Okay, so to kind of explain how hierarchies work, it gets confusing. This is one of the more complex and confusing parts of the app because it gets pretty dirty and hairy when you get in there. Because you can have any number of nodes, and you can have groups, and you have users, and they're scattered kind of all throughout, and they all have different company IDs, and the assets can be distributed anywhere, up and down, etc. So this diagram kind of helps explain and just the capabilities of account hierarchies. So in this example, we have Acme Logistics USA. So this is the parent level company. It doesn't necessarily need to be a parent company. It could be a subsidiary. It could be a business unit itself. For example, with Halliburton, each one of their business units will be its own parent company, even though they're all technically part of Halliburton. So Acme Logistics, they've got 400 assets. All the devices are assigned to the parent company. And then at that level 1, you can have both admins and users, right? And like with any sign-on or any account level, you can have groups, projects, locations, zones, all that good stuff. So then they've created a second level here as an example. They named it regions, and they've created 2 regions, a Midwest and an East. So what the parent company can do is assign, out of their 400 assets, they've split 200 to Midwest and 200 to East. And you can see they're kind of color-coded there. Now also at the parent level, or at any level really, you can create groups, and you can mix and match groups however you want, and there's no limit to the number of groups. So Midwest, for example, they've got 200 assets. They could create as many groups and mix and match those assets as they see fit. But what's unique about this is Midwest has no visibility to what's in the East. So any assets that Midwest has, the East cannot see, and vice versa. Also with that scenario, any groups, projects, locations, zones, and users that are in the Midwest are also completely separate from the same entities on the East Coast. Okay, so then what the parent company's added a level 3. In this case, they name them departments. So within the Midwest, we've created an operations and logistics department, and then the East has sales and marketing. So because the Midwest has the blue and the red 200 assets, they can distribute those assets down to their individual departments. Same with the East Coast, and everything's separated. At level 3, you can still have you can still have admins, and you can still have users, and you can mix and match those assets however you see fit. Okay, and there's no limit to the number of nodes that you can have on levels 2 and 3. So this was kind of the large enterprise example. There's the OEM example down below. That's like SANY, that's Iron Direct. And then there's a level 2 example, or a 2-level example. That's like Hub Truck. So any of these, level 3 is optional, so is level 2. You could just have a flat organization. Okay, so let's go into account hierarchy setup. So I'll demo that. I'm in MCDev. What you'll see here is a new account menu item under the admin. So you have to be an admin to get to account hierarchy. So I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up. So we can see we've already created 3 levels. This is the Acme Bear Ready Mix MCDev account. So they create the parent level. You can't really change the name. That's the name that's in Salesforce. But we created regions and departments. This is that diagram. When you first start out, you wouldn't have anything here, right? And this diagram is here to help folks try to make sense of of what account hierarchy is all about. And then this will show your current hierarchy. So right now on Bear Ready Mix, we have regions and departments, and then within those, this is the expansion of all the regions and departments and how they all fit together. So in Asia region, we have 3 departments, and you can see in parentheses, that's the number of assets that have been distributed to each lower level. So to configure, I may as well, I'll just go through this example first. So level 2, we named regions. To configure those, this is where you create all of your level 2 regions. Okay. And then your departments, same thing. Hit configure, and then each department then needs to belong to a parent region. And so let's see, if Brazil, let's look at Brazil. He belongs to South America region. I can't add any assets to him. So you can only add assets to those that you have available that were given to you by your parent. So let's see here, South America region. I can assign Bear 5 and 7 to South America. Hit save. And I go into Brazil. And here I got 5 and 7. I could add those to both to South America. And now when we look at our hierarchy here, you can see in South America we've assigned 2, and we have assigned both of those 2 to a level 3 Brazil. Okay, so this is prod copy. So this is a copy of AT&T from yesterday. Anyway, I logged in as Sanny. And what you'll see here, this is kind of nice. So they follow the typical OEM structure. So on go live day, for customers that already have our previous version of account hierarchy, we're going to reestablish those levels for them. So they have these levels, and then you can see this is their hierarchy here. So they've got quite a few. And what's nice is what you'll notice is in the accordion, you get a new blade when you're an account hierarchy customer. So we can open up this blade, and you can see these are all their dealerships, and anything that has a plus sign also has customers that belong to that dealership. So I'll just grab one here, Earth Moving Equipment. So that's a dealership, and then they have these end customers down below them. So what's kind of cool is I can, just like the other items of the accordion, I can select Earth Moving Equipment, and the map will filter on just those assets that are assigned to that dealership. Or I could just nail it down to Eastman Aggregates, who only has one, which is interesting. Cool. So you get the nice hierarchy here. You can bust it open, select all, or you can clear all. And it has search as well. So that's a brand new blade that you'll see with account hierarchy. I know Reese wants to see Skanska.
My favorite.
Skanska only has a 2-level hierarchy, so they just have regions. Skanska, the parent company, and then just their regions. Oh, and I didn't show you this, but if you, this is where they can make the levels themselves. They can name them whatever they want. So you can come in here and name these and set the level. So there's the Koch, Midwest, Northeast, Southeast, and West. So that's their hierarchy, and then this new blade will appear. So if you just wanted to see the Koch region assets, boom, they're on the map. Okay, also as part of account hierarchy, since you're going to have, let me go back into MCDev here. The parent company can assign users to its level 2. Level 2 admins can create users for level 3, etc. But being the parent account, you can see all users, right? So it can get a little confusing as to who can see what. So one of the things that we've done is we added this filter hierarchy. So if I wanted to just find, well, who's at the parent level, Acme Ready Mix, I can just filter on that. Or if I wanted to find out who's just in the Asia region. Okay, so the next thing is user impersonation. So this is going to be huge for a lot of customers, really. Anybody who, typically the admins are going to make user IDs for either other account hierarchies lower than them, or the level 2s will be making user IDs for their children as well. And when you set up groups for certain users, you can never, today, in the system today, you could never experience what that user is experiencing unless you got their user ID and password, or you made a fake user ID, added them to the same group, and then you logged in as that user. So now admin users can impersonate any user in their company hierarchy as long as they're not another admin at the same level. So for example, I've set up like this Asia admin, right? So he's in charge of the entire Asia region in this example. But I'm the parent company. I'm logged in as the parent main guy, but I want to see what his experience on TeMeda is like. So what you'll see is this little impersonation guy with the hat. So I can just impersonate him. And remember, I'm a super user impersonating a admin user who's now impersonating another level 2 admin user.
Inception.
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Okay, so I am Asia, and as you can see, I got access to these 6 assets, right? And remember, each one of these levels, they have their own hierarchy, they have their own groups, projects, users, locations, zones, all that stuff. So it's a great way to simulate what another user is experiencing. You can even come in here and do stuff on their behalf. You can show them how to create a location, how to create an alert. Alerts too. The alerts and maintenance, that's all separate in each company level. So a parent company doesn't see his children's alerts along with these other items. Okay, so that's going to be a cool feature. And then just to get out, just like you guys do now, you just log out and since I was logged in as a super user, it takes you all the way back. I just log in as a regular user. So I'm going to go to users, and now let's go to a level 3. So a level 3 user, this guy user at Dallas, I can simulate him, impersonate him. In this case, he doesn't have access to any assets. I'd say, oh, okay, that's a problem, right? So now I can go edit this user. Who was I doing? Level 3, this guy.
That's right.
This guy. I could add him to some groups here. Where am I? Anyway, so the impersonation feature allows you to impersonate anybody, and then it's exactly like what they're experiencing. Okay, primary asset. So this was, primary asset allows you to create a primary asset. It's for use when we have multiple telematics devices on a single asset. You can set which asset is the primary asset, and what that will do is it'll hide any non-primary assets from the map. So let me log out here. This is, Halliburton's going to be using this. They actually have 3 assets on a single asset, maybe even more. So as Reese knows, on these cement mixers, right, you've got 3 different assets, 3 different telematics devices on each, on the same truck. The deck motor driver, deck motor passenger, and then the pony motor. So they wanted to make the pony motor be the main asset. So that means we need to make these 2 guys, we need to set these 2, we need to set their primary asset to the pony motor. So if you notice, I've already done that. If you look on the map, let me refresh this map. You can see we've got 5 assets, and I can jump to their dashboards, I can look at their history trail, but I only have 3 assets on the map. That's because 2 of these guys belong to a primary. So I can bring up the primary and run his dashboard, all that other good stuff, see all that stuff. And then I can still get to these other guys, but they're just not, there's no dots on the map. And you can see that if I go to edit the asset, on the additional tab, we've got this new drop down called primary asset. So both deck motor passenger and deck motor driver will have pony motor as their primary asset. Okay, here's a new alert called the location time limit exceeded. This was also kind of a Halliburton thing. So whenever an asset is in a location for greater than X hours, this alert will be triggered. You have to be in a geofence, and it has to be a location as opposed to a zone. But that is simply go to manage alerts and add alert. So you'll see that new alert type right here, location time limit exceeded. So all you have to enter is the number of hours. So in their case, I think they were doing 3 hours. And away you go. So that'll trigger that alert if they're in that geofence for that amount of time, greater than that amount of time. So one of the things they do is, for example, this is the maintenance line, right? So it's bad when I have things down for maintenance. So I want to know if I'm in the maintenance line for more than 2 days, then alert me, okay? The other thing is maybe this line right here, maybe this line here is what they call the ready line. So that means I've got trucks that were maintained, ready to go, they were repaired, and now they're ready. And these things are ready to go and ready to make $1,500 an hour. So if something's sitting in this geofence and it's more than a day, more than however many hours, 48 hours, then I definitely need to know about that. Okay, a second new alert is called I like to call it the In-N-Out Burger Alert. So the In-N-Out Burger Alert it's a combination of a location entry and a location exit, but you can just set one alert. So it doesn't care whether you're going in or out. It just triggers that alert whenever you go into a geofence or whenever you come out of a geofence. And if we look at an example of that, I can cancel this. So we have an alert at TeMeda World Headquarters, and whenever anyone goes in or out, burger-wise, we can see that. So Dan's, not Dan's Ultimo. No, Dan's Jeep. We look at his alerts. So we had an In-N-Out burger at 7:39 this morning, then an In-N-Out at 12:01, and back in, and you can see here in the state was in at 12:56. So this is cool. This will help too when we have customers, of course, that run reports, the alert reports, to do things like figure out how much time they are in a location, right? And to run a report, you can only run a report by a single alert type. So I know some people schedule reports. You can run it for all alerts, or you can do it for a single alert type. So I think ITS is another one of those guys that they use our reports, the data from the reports, to generate times that someone was in or out. The old way was with 2 different alerts. Now it can all be done in one. And where that really helps out too is in our API portal. Since the data now is being triggered by a single alert in the telemetry API, we have this new alert events by alert ID. So this wouldn't be possible if there was multiple alerts, but now it's possible to get alert events by a single alert ID, and then you can get this type of data just on the In-N-Out burger alert. Okay, so then the API portal will be going live with this release as well. What was out there was just kind of a preview. Not all the features like the one I just showed you is available, but it will be after 2.11 goes live. Number 7, barcode scanner. So we added the barcode scanner to both native apps, the installer app and the native core app. So you can tag a GPS device by its serial number using the barcode scanner.